This video depicts topics of violence, murder, and death and is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Saint Titus, a disciple of Saint Paul, was a prominent figure in the early Christian church and is venerated as a saint in both Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic traditions. He was likely born to a Gentile family in the Greek-speaking world, possibly Antioch or Crete, though the exact details of his early life remain uncertain. Titus is believed to have been well educated, as he was proficient in Greek and likely familiar with the philosophical and cultural traditions of the time. This education would later aid him in spreading the Christian faith to diverse communities. Titus was converted to Christianity by St. Paul himself, who affectionately referred to him as the true child in common faith. See Titus chapter 1 verse 4. Unlike many early Christians, Titus was not circumcised, which underscored Paul's message that Gentile converts were not bound by Jewish laws. This point became significant during the early debates about the inclusion of Gentiles in the church, particularly during the Council of Jerusalem. See Acts 15 and Galatians chapter 2 verse 1 to 3. Titus became one of Paul's closest and most trusted companions. He accompanied Paul on several missionary journeys, assisting him in preaching, organizing churches, and resolving disputes. Paul entrusted Titus with some of the most challenging tasks, recognizing his leadership skills, tact, and dedication. One notable mission involved Titus being sent to the church in Corinth to address issues of division and immorality. He successfully mediated conflicts and collected financial contributions for the impoverished Christians in Jerusalem. See the 2nd Corinthians chapter 8 verse 6 and verses 16 to 24. Paul expressed his gratitude and admiration for Titus in his letters, highlighting his loyalty and enthusiasm for the work of the gospel. Titus's most enduring legacy lies in his role as the first bishop of Crete. Paul left Titus in Crete to organize and oversee the Christian community there, a task requiring both administrative skills and spiritual leadership. Paul's epistles to Titus offers guidance on church governance and qualifications for church leaders, and the importance of sound doctrine and good works. This letter, known as the Epistle to Titus, provides valuable insight into the challenges Titus faced and his contributions to the early church. Tradition holds that Titus served as the bishop of Crete for many years, tirelessly preaching the gospel and nurturing the Christian community. He is said to have lived to an old age and died peacefully, earning widespread veneration for his holiness and dedication. While the exact date of his death is not recorded, it is believed that it is believed to have occurred in the later part of the 1st century, around 96 AD. Saint Titus is remembered as a model of pastoral care and missionary zeal. His feast day is celebrated on January 26th in the Roman Catholic Church and on August 25th in the Eastern Orthodox Church. He is considered the patron saint of Crete. The Cathedral of St. Titus in Heraklion, Crete, houses relics believed to belong to him, including his skull, which is venerated by pilgrims. The cathedral stands as a testament to his enduring legacy in the region. St. Titus is often depicted in art wearing episcopal robes, holding a bishop's staff, or the Gospels, symbolizing his role as a shepherd of the church and a teacher of the faith. His life serves as an inspiration for Christians to embrace inclusivity, foster unity, and serve with humility and dedication. St. Titus, as an early Christian bishop and disciple of St. Paul, has been depicted in Christian art and iconography across centuries, primarily within the traditions of the Eastern Orthodox Church, Roman Catholic Church, and other Christian communities. Here's a brief but comprehensive breakdown of his iconography, including the symbols, attributes, and styles typically associated with this iconography. Saint Titus is most often portrayed as an older man, reflecting his wisdom and maturity as a bishop and missionary leader. His demeanor is serene and authoritative, symbolizing his role as a spiritual guide and peacemaker within the church. He's usually depicted as a middle aged man or older with a short beard and thinning or gray hair, symbolizing his wisdom and experience. His face is typically carries a aura of calm and kind expression, conveying his pastoral care and dedication to the Christian community. As a bishop of Crete, St. Titus is often shown wearing traditional episcopal garments. These includes a chasuble or omophorion, which is a wide stole-like vestment worn by bishops in the Eastern Orthodox tradition. He's also shown wearing a sakos, which is a bishop's tunic in Orthodox iconography, or an alb and cope in Western depictions. He's often shown wearing a mitre or bishop's crown, though this is more common in Western art. In some traditional Orthodox depictions, St. Titus is portrayed in a hymethyon, a cloak like garment over a tunic, common for early Christian saints, emphasizing simplicity and humility. St. Titus is often depicted with attributes that symbolize his ministry, relationship with St. Paul, and contributions to the church. He is frequently shown holding a gospel book or an unrolled scroll, symbolizing his role as a teacher and preacher of the Word of God. The scroll often contains verses from the epistle to Titus or other Pauline writings, emphasizing his connection with St. Paul and his role in spreading sound doctrine. He's often shown with a bishop's staff or crozier, often depicted as a tall shepherd's crook, representing his pastoral authority and role as a shepherd of the Christian flock in Crete. In some depictions, especially in Byzantine art, Saint Titus is shown holding a miniature church or building, symbolizing his role in organizing and establishing the Church of Crete. In group compositions, Saint Titus is often depicted along Saint Paul, his mentor and spiritual father. They may be shown discussing or holding scriptures together, symbolizing their shared mission in the early church. Rays or light or of or excuse me, rays of light or a star may appear near his head, emphasizing his sanctity and divine inspiration. A palm branch, a traditional symbol of victory and martyrdom, may occasionally appear with St. Titus, though he has not been martyred. This symbolizes his spiritual triumph and dedication to the faith. St. Titus appears in various artistic contexts that emphasize his life and ministry. In the Eastern Orthodox iconography, the Byzantine icons of St. Titus follow the traditional stylized and symbolic approach. The focus is on spiritual representation rather than realism, with golden backgrounds and signifying divine light. He's often depicted with other bishops, such as St. Timothy, or within scenes of the missionary journeys of St. Paul. His name is written in Greek often as Agios Titus, meaning Saint Titus. In Western Catholic art, depictions tend towards realism, especially in Renaissance and Baroque art, with more detailed and lifelike portrayals. Scenes may include Titus preaching in Crete, receiving instruction from St. Paul, or performing acts of pastoral care. Certain key moments from the life of St. Titus are sometimes depicted in narrative art. Titus is occasionally shown at the Council of Jerusalem, see Acts 15 and Galatians 2, where his uncircumcised status as a Gentile convert was discussed. This symbolizes his inclusion of Gentiles in the church. Scenes of Titus being appointed by St. Paul to oversee the Church of Crete highlights his role as bishop and leader in the scenes that include this moment. Of course, there are scenes of preaching in Crete. These depictions of Titus preaching to the people of Crete often include Cretan landscapes or settings, emphasizing his missionary work on the island. There are, of course, many relics and devotional art included in his iconography. This includes the Cathedral of St. Titus in Heraklion, Crete. The iconography associated with St. Titus often centers around his relics, which are housed in the Cathedral of St. Titus. Icons here typically present him as the patron saint of Crete. There's, of course, an importance of the relic veneration for St. Titus. Icons or paintings depicting pilgrims venerating the skull of St. Titus are also popular, particularly in Orthodox traditions. Popular themes in the iconography include St. Titus as a shepherd, St. Titus with Paul, and St. Titus with the gospel. Important colors include gold in the background, red or purple vestments, and green. Gold represents the divine light and sanctity, while as red or purple symbolize his episcopal authority and royal service to God, while as green is occasionally used to symbolize life and renewal, reflecting his role in nurturing the church. In conclusion, contemporary Christian art, St. Titus continues to be depicted in both traditional and modern styles. His image is frequently used in churches and devotional materials to inspire pastoral leaders and missionaries. Through his this rich and detailed iconographic tradition, St. Titus' life and legacy are celebrated as a model of faithfulness, leadership, and devotion. St. St. Titus, while primarily remembered for his role as an early Christian bishop and disciple of St. Paul, is also associated with traditional miracles. Many of these accounts are preserved in Christian hagiographies and local traditions, particularly in Crete. Here's a brief but exhaustive list and description of miracles attributed to St. Titus, reflecting his intercessory power and divine grace. When concerning the miracles during his lifetime, we see miracles of healing the sick. St. Titus is credited with healing individuals suffering from various illness, especially during his missionary work in Crete. His prayers and laying on of hands reportedly restored health to many. There are, of course, many examples of exorcising demons. As a bishop, Titus is said to have performed numerous exorcisms. He freed individuals who were possessed by demons, demonstrating the power of Christ over evil forces. He, of course, also demonstrated the miracle of converting idol worshippers. One of the most celebrated miracles was his ability to convince hardened idol worshippers in Crete to abandon their pagan practices. Through his preaching and divine signs, he converted entire communities to Christianity. There were, of course, many demonstrations of the miracle of quelling a storm. Tradition holds that during a missionary journey, St. Titus prayed to calm a violent storm at sea. This miraculous event saved the lives of his companions and strengthened their faith in God. There, of course, the miracle of raising a child from the dead. According to local Cretan traditions, Titus is believed to have raised a child from the dead. This miracle occurred after the desperate parents sought his help, and he prayed fervently for the child's life to be restored. There was, of course, the miracle of providing food during a famine. During a period of famine in Crete, Titus prayed for divine intervention. In response, food supplies miraculously appeared, ensuring the survival of the Christian community under his care. Of course, there was many examples of healing blindness from individuals. Titus is said to have restored the sight of a blind man who approached him in faith. This miracle led to the conversion of many witnesses who recognized the divine power working through him. And of course, there was deliverance from persecution. During the time of persecution against Christians, Titus reportedly prayed for protection. A group of soldiers sent to arrest him were either struck with fear or miraculously changed their minds, sparing him and his community. Of course, there were many examples of posthumous miracles. After his passing, St. Titus continued to be venerated as a powerful intercessor. Numerous miracles are attributed to his relics and prayers offered in his name. These miracles include protection of Crete. St. Titus is credited with protecting the island of Crete from natural disasters, including earthquakes and storms. It is said that when the people of Crete prayed for his intercession, the disasters were averted or their impact was significantly reduced. There are, of course, the miracles of healing through relics. Pilgrims visiting the relics of St. Titus in Heracleion reported miraculous healings. Many were cured of chronic illnesses, paralysis, and other physical afflictions after venerating his relics. There were many examples of curing of epidemics as miracles. During outbreaks of the plague and other epidemics in Crete, prayers to Saint Titus brought relief and healing to afflicted communities. The faithful attributed their survival to his intercession. Miraculous appearances during wars was another posthumous miracle. Local legend recount that Saint Titus appeared in visions to protect the island of Crete during times of war and invasion. His presence reportedly inspired courage among defenders and led to the retreat of many enemies. There are, of course, many examples of saving a sinking ship. Sailors in distress at sea invoked St. Titus, and he miraculously appeared in the vision, guiding their ship to safety. His This event strengthened devotion to him among Cretan seafarers. There was, of course, an unexplained light over relics as a miracle. A recurrent miracle associated with St. Titus is the appearance of divine light or glow over the relics. The phenomenon has been witnessed during liturgical celebrations, signifying his sanctity. Many accounts also describe how individuals suffering from mental illness or spiritual despair were healed after praying to Saint Titus or being brought to his shrine. Finally, there were many prisoners who were delivered. Stories tell of prisoners who prayed to Saint Titus for deliverance. Miraculously, their chains were broken or they were released under extraordinary circumstances. There are, of course, many examples of modern miracles. In recent centuries, St. Titus has continued to be invoked by the faithful, and reports of miracles attributed to his intercession persist. There was a prevention of a fire. During a fire that threatened to destroy a village in Crete, prayers to St. Titus were offered, and the flames reportedly stopped abruptly, sparing the community. There was an example of healing a child while with a rare illness. A modern account from Crete describes a child with a rare, life threatening illness being healed after the family prayed to St. Titus and brought the child to his shrine. There was the miracle of interceding for fertility. Couples struggling with infertility have prayed to St. Titus and later reported miraculous conceptions. These accounts have led to an increase in pilgrimages to his shrine in order to seek similar blessings. Finally, there was a saving in a church from of a church, from destruction in Heracleon. During a natural disaster, the Cathedral of St. Titus was reportedly spared from damage despite surrounding buildings being destroyed. This event is attributed to his protection. In summary, the miracles of St. Titus demonstrate his role as a healer of physical and spiritual ailments, a protector of the faithful and his community in Crete, that he is a powerful intercessor for both individuals and larger communities, as well as a guide to Christ for idol worshippers and the spiritually lost. In other words, St. Titus's legacy is as a miracle worker both during his life and after his passing continues to inspire devotion, particularly in Crete, where he is venerated as the island's patron saint. The canonization process for St. Titus predates the formal procedures established by the Catholic Church in the Middle Ages. As a result, St. Titus is considered a pre-congregational saint, meaning that his sainthood was recognized by the church through popular acclaim and the authority of early Christian tradition, rather than through a detailed canonization process. Here's a brief explanation of how his sanctity and veneration were established and perpetuated. Saint Titus was recognized as a saint during the apostolic age, during the first century AD, shortly after his passing, based on the following. First and foremost, the proximity to apostolic figures. Titus was a close disciple of St. Paul, who referred to him as his true child in faith. See Titus chapter 1, verse 4. And his connection to Paul gave him significant authority and respect within the early church. Secondly, there was his role as a church leader. As the first bishop of Crete, Titus was instrumental in organizing and nurturing the Christian community there. His reputation as a holy and wise leader contributed to his veneration. Third and finally, his martyr or confessor. While Titus did not die a martyr, he was considered a confessor of the faith, a title given to those who lived exemplary Christian lives and bore witness to Christ through their deeds and teachings. During this period, his sainthood was often conferred by local communities who venerated the individual as a model of holiness. The process was informal but rooted in communal devotion. Like many saints of the time, his veneration and cult occurred through relics and his feast day. The preservation and veneration of St. Titus's relics played a central role in his recognition as a saint. His relics, particularly his skull, are housed in the Cathedral of St. Titus in Heraklion, Crete. The relics became a focal point for pilgrimages and miraculous occurrences, reinforcing his sanctity. His feast day for the early Christian community began being celebrated as an honor to him, initially at a local level. Over time, this practice spread and other regions of Christian world. In the Roman Catholic world, his feast day is observed on January 26, which is shared with Saint Timothy, another disciple of Paul. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, his feast day is celebrated on August 25th, commemorating his role as patron saint of Crete. When it comes to the formalization of sainthood in the early church, the Council of Crete and local authority became more organized. The local bishops and synods in Crete, affirmed the veneration of Saint Titus as their patron saint. This affirmation was based on his historical role as the first bishop of Crete and the miracles attributed to him. His name and story were also included in early Christian liturgical texts such as Martyrology, the Calendars of Saints, and Lectorians, the Book of Scripture readings. This inclusion helped solidify his status as a saint recognized by the Universal Church. There is, of course, the posthumous recognition by the Universal Church. While the formal canonization process as we know it today did not exist during the time of St. Titus, later developments in church practices reaffirmed his sanctity. This included, of course, writings of the church fathers. Early church fathers and historians such as Eusebius of Caesarea acknowledged Titus as a significant figure in the apostolic age. Their writings preserved his legacy and ensured his contributions would be remembered by subsequent generations. There was, of course, as well the recognition in ecumenical councils. By the time of the ecumenical councils in the 4th to 8th centuries, the veneration of St. Titus was widely accepted throughout the Christian world. The preservation and elevation of his relics were also instrumental in maintaining his veneration. The transfer of relics during the Byzantine period was important. His relics were transferred to Constantinople for safekeeping, likely to protect them from invasions or desecration in Crete. Many of the relics were returned to Crete in 1966, including his skull, which was returned to the island and enshrined in the Cathedral of St. Titus in Heraklion. This event renewed devotion to St. Titus among the Cretan people and highlighted his importance of their patron saint. Of course, there was the liturgical and artistic canonization. The universal recognition of St. Titus is evident in his inclusion in Christian liturgical practices and in art. In the Eastern Orthodox tradition, icons of St. Titus depict him in bishop's vestments, often holding a gospel or a church, symbolizing his role as a teacher and leader. Hymns and prayers dedicated to him are part of the Orthodox liturgical tradition, particularly on his feast day. As for Roman Catholic traditions, St. Titus is commemorated in the Roman Martyrology, an official list of saints recognized by the Church. His feast day is part of the general Roman calendar, ensuring his veneration across the Catholic world. Of course, St. Titus's sanctity is supported by his theological contributions as recorded in the New Testament. The epistle to Titus, written by St. Paul, outlines the qualities of a good bishop and leader. Titus is portrayed as the model of these virtues, reinforcing his role as a saintly figure. His work in establishing the church in Crete is seen as a direct continuation of the apostles' mission, giving him a unique place in the history of early Christianity. While there is no formal canonization process for St. Titus, the Church has continued to affirm his sanctity through local and universal devotions. His patronage of Crete and inclusion in the liturgical calendars of both the Catholic and Orthodox churches demonstrate his widespread veneration. Both Eastern and Western Christian traditions honor St. Titus, making him a bridge between branches of Christianity. In summary, St. Titus' canonization process is rooted in the traditions of the early church, which recognizes his holiness through popular acclaim and his role as a bishop and disciple of St. Paul, as well as the miracles attributed to him. Though there is no formal canonization as practiced today, his veneration has been continuously affirmed through liturgical recognition, the preservation of his relics, and his enduring legacy as a patron and protector of Crete.